What's good, everybody? It's your boy King RKO back with another reaction, and we gonna react to why I stopped talking to Randy Orton. I'm a wrestling fan, as y'all know. This used to be a former wrestler, Maven. And we're gonna see why he stopped talking to Randy Orton. Let's see if he really did or is he just clickbaiting. Again, I know wrestling is fake, but it's one of the best things ever, bro. Chat, you guys gotta watch it. It's like a movie, yo. Y'all watch movies, it's fake. Y'all watch a TV show, it's fake. It's all scripted. But the thing about wrestling is they actually put their bodies in the line, man. So let's see this video.
MAVEN here. Now, during my time in the WWE, one of my best friends was the legend
Randy
killer,
Orton.
Randy Orton. In this video,
Man,
I'm going to talk about my first interaction with Randy, tell how we became friends, say what he was like backstage, tell some stories about me and Randy on the road, and why did we stop talking? So get in, buckle up, and take a ride with me.
Let's see.
While I tell you all about the Viper, Randy Orton. My first interaction with Randy would come at a house show. Now, I don't remember.
So those for you guys that don't know what's a house show is a wrestling show, but it's not live. It's like just a wrestling show for people to go, like, you know, for that one day, for that one time. Go. It's not televised. It's just, you know, off TV.
Which one it was. It was the very first house show or untelevised event that I was a part of. I still terrified of the position, and at this point I don't think I'd.
Also, a house show is for like wrestlers to get better at wrestling. In another way,
like completely
it's like extra
grasped
reps.
Just how much my life was changed.
He lives in a nice neighborhood.
Going to my
bro.
first house show or untelevised event would show me what the next 5 years of my life was going to be like. I remember meeting Randy, and he seemed to know it all. Randy Orton was meant to be.
Chat, YouTube, we all have those friends that know it all. And those are the ones that piss me off, feel like slapping them across the face. Like, I understand y'all know stuff, but like y'all don't know everything. And I got family members like that too, bro. It's like, so it's like, shut up, bro. Like, I get it, bro. Like, chill, bro. Or like sometimes they know they're wrong and they just keep going just to like show that they know everything. That shit pisses me off.
A professional wrestler. And I knew that our very first encounter. He had come from OVW, and that was a developmental territory in
OVW is like it's like the old NXT. So it's like, you guys, again, these wrestlers are trying to get to WWE, so they gotta start off in like a off brand to start getting, you know, like familiar with the environment, with the fans, with the crowds, with television, and that's how they get their
Louisville, Kentucky. I was in HWA Heartland Wrestling. I had never met Randy until this very first WWE live event, and I remember even being classified a rookie, which he was. He had one of the best matches of the night. I don't know how confident he really was on the inside, but he looked like a seasoned vet from that first interaction. And I remember after both of our matches was over, I mean, I forget who it was, but somebody pulled me aside, told me a little bit about him, and, you know, mentioned, that's Cowboy Bob's son. And I was like, immediately my mind went back to, you know, the early WrestleMania days, and I was thinking of the cast and how he worked the cast, and this kid's a part of a lineage. That's awesome. It makes a little bit more sense why he's so damn good. He and I hit it off immediately, and it didn't take long before we found ourselves backstage and, you know, just laughing, cutting up, making jokes. We were around about the same age. I'm a few years older than Randy, but it didn't matter. We both found the same things funny. We both knew how lucky we were to be in that position. And obviously our careers would arc in differing directions, but for a split second we were equals, and we had the entire world at our fingertips and ahead of us. So after this first weekend of WWE non-televised live events, I would see him sporadically. He was still at OVW and I was still at HWA, and our paths wouldn't cross again until later down the road. We were both elevated to the main roster, you know, quickly. Obviously, with
that drop kick, he has a beautiful drop kick.
It was, you know, the Tough Enough reason. They knew they had to, you know, to get Tough Enough 2 out, they knew they had to put the Tough Enough 1 guy over, and I benefited off of that. Randy, on the other hand, he was elevated strictly off of sheer ability and just his.
Yo, Randy Orton used to be cracked. Like, when he was young, bro, now it's not the same. You know, he doesn't do high flyings because longevity is important in the sport. It's a sport. Wrestling is a sport. And I'm telling you, like, this man, bro, he was insane back
ability
in the
to
day.
go out, and he was good. Like, he was just a damn good wrestler.
Yeah, he was,
that
and he
time.
still is.
There was nothing he couldn't do, nothing he
RKO.
didn't get. So when I talk about how he's meant to do this, how he was put on this earth to entertain in a wrestling ring, it's because he understood and got the psychology immediately.
It's all about, yo, listen, that's the thing. And I keep pausing, but that's the huge part of wrestling. It's a psychology, bro. Like, you have to know, like, how to make the fans react. You have to. I know it's like, oh, it's fake or whatever. No. Like, it's more into it. Like, it's like a live Broadway show, bro. If you think about it, it's like a live Broadway show.
My relationship with Randy, where we became friends and road partners, would come years later. I started, obviously, my career and was put on an arc a little bit different than most people, and they obviously wanted me to have success. So the way the WWE helped that success come was putting me with guys like Al Snow on the road and Devon Dudley on the road. But once I broke my leg and the draft happened, I would find myself off of SmackDown and on Raw. Now, they had just split the two programs, the two brands, the Raw brand and the SmackDown brand. And when they split those shows, that meant that guys would no longer go to both. You would have a roster of Raw guys and a roster of SmackDown guys. When I came back off my broken leg and I would find myself on Raw, their goal was to kind of rebrand me. I think they wanted me to try to move beyond just being the tough enough guy, and the best way to do this was to have me out from under the wings of an Al Snow. Being that Ray and I were both on the main roster at this time, and being that I was now on Raw, we needed to find someone to ride with. A riding partner in the wrestling business is it's an underutilized commodity. It's something that is so important. Why? You need to find someone who has similar interests. What do I mean by that? Similar interest in what kind of car you're going to rent. You don't want people to argue over, someone might want to rent a more expensive luxury car, whereas someone else might want to rent something that's a little cheaper and saves.
And that's the thing with wrestling, bro. These wrestlers are out there 365 days. Like, they're out there like the whole year, and it's rough. Like, a lot of wrestlers say, like, the travel and driving it gotta be rough.
Or you might have guys that want to stay in cheaper hotels. A lot of guys would even split rooms. They would stay in, a few to a room just to cut down on costs. I completely understand it. Randy and I both, from the jump, agreed that we were fine with spending a little extra money to be comfortable. We both agreed, let's get nice cars. Let's spend a little bit of extra money on a nicer hotel. Let's not split rooms. Let's have our own room so we can go our separate ways at the end of the night. And let's spend money on good food. He and I were both on the same page, and it's something that you don't think of, and I guarantee you fans don't even consider it. But the person that you ride with, very important in the wrestling business. Once Randy and I established we would be riding together, it was fun from the start. At the time, I was over 25, Randy was not, so it fell to me to rip every vehicle that we had. When Randy and I would arrive in town for a loop, and where most people had their plans already figured out, that wasn't us. I was going to the rental car counter, whichever one had the shortest line. Once Randy and I started riding together, it was a lot of times it didn't feel like there was even an adult in the room. But we got to where we were going. Sometimes we might have been a little bit late, or something might have caught our attention along the way. But in essence, we got to where we were going. By this time, Randy's ascent in the WWE. It had begun, and there was no debate, there was no question that he was a superstar in the making. And once we got to the arena, our responsibilities were completely different. Most every night I was going to be in one of the first 3 matches of the night, whereas Randy every night was going to be in the last match. He was going to figure in the main event of the show. That crazy. Meant that once I was done, I had to wait for him, which I was perfectly fine with. Backstage, Randy remained the exact same, just jovial, fun, always willing and always wanting to have a good time guy that he started off as. He knew when to be serious, and he knew when to cut up.
That's an advice in life. You gotta learn how to flip the switch on and off.
He got a reputation backstage for just being a jokester, being someone who liked to rib, liked to cut jokes on somebody, and it might have rubbed people the wrong way. There was an incident once when they were bringing
take things personal.
A young lady in for a tryout, and she ended up working with the company for a few shows. Immediately, Randy and I, once we got to the building, we were either going to or leaving catering, and this young lady did not recognize who Randy Orton was, so she politely asked if he would take her bags somewhere because she had to meet Johnny Ace at the ring. Unbeknownst to her, she was at the time talking to the champion of the company. She had no clue.
How do you? That doesn't make sense. How you get a tryout and you don't know the champion of the company?
And let's just say, this did not sit well with the Legend Killer.
Of course not.
And rightfully so. And he told her, you want a job in this company and you don't know who I am? Why would you not do your homework? Why would you not find out who the company's stars are? That way, once you get there, you're not left looking stupid by asking a champion, Randy Orton, to carry your bag somewhere. He didn't take it well, and he felt disrespected, and obviously so. And let's just say to show her place.
No, what did Randy do?
Something might have happened with her bag. Hey, I'm not saying he did or did not have anything to do with it, but what I do know is a few months
L-Mans, bro, he kind of snitched him out.
After, he got a pretty hefty fine from the office. When he was telling me about the fine he received, he actually said he wished he would have done a little bit more. That was just who Randy was. You were going to respect him, and if you didn't show him the respect that he had earned by this time, he was going to get it one way or another. One time we found ourselves traveling, and rather than going to the next town the night before, we stayed in the town we were currently in and had a good time. And the next day when we got up, we got a little bit of a later start, so we had to get to a live TV taping of Raw. And on Raw, you had to be there at 1 o'clock.
So those for who don't know what Raw is one of the main shows that are televised in TV.
Getting there, I want to say around 3:30. Now, it wasn't as big of a deal for the show for me. I believe I had a match early on, a 6-minute match, could go over it no time. Randy was, again, in the main event. He had a lot more to worry about than I did.
Yeah, that's true.
But he also played a bigger role in the show.
Yeah.
When we get to the arena, did they get mad at Randy? They did not. They did get mad at me, however, and I got chewed out pretty good for it. But I've been chewed out before. I understood. Were we in the wrong for getting there late? Yeah, we were. But again, did Randy get in trouble? Nah, not so much. I understood it. I got it. Randy earned the right to be looked at a bit different than I did or than others.
That's how it works in life, bro. Like, the higher you get, the higher you can get away with shit, in a way. Like, and it's true, bro. Like, it's life, bro.
Other guys did simply
and again, people
because
get
of
on
his
top
worth.
because they earn
He was worth more to the company
Yeah.
because he was making the company a lot more money than I was. I got it. Being on the road with Randy was always an adventure, and it's one of the things that to this day I miss. That extended to our overseas trips as well. And on one overseas trip, we found ourselves on a plane that it was just the talent. When you're on a flight for a certain amount of hours, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but if it's over a certain amount of hours, they need to have 2 crews to operate the flight. This was an 18-hour flight. Guys were having a good time,
bro.
you know, maybe having a cocktail. A few hours into it, that's when guys would started wanting to maybe get some shut-eye, go to sleep. Randy and I were in the belly of the plane, but still great accommodations. Now, I wish I could fly like that every time.
Yo,
the fact that
knows
we
he
were
had a
trying to
good
go
time.
to sleep and hopefully knock off as many hours of this travel as we could, we were all for it. So we both ingratiated ourselves with one of the flight attendants, and
he joined the High Mile Club.
Talking with her for a while, she told us, hey, you know, back in the back, since we have 2 crews, we actually have cabins. There's places, beds for us to lay down, and that sounded like a whole hell of a lot better option than where we were sitting. So somehow we talked them into allowing us to go back and get our sleep on a fully flat mattress, flat bed.
I thought he was, you know.
And as they take us back and we look and we see these beds back there, we quickly found out that passengers going back to the crew accommodations was against FAA regulations, and we were highly encouraged to go back to our seats because we did not want what was going to happen if we didn't. Obviously, the minute you tell me FAA regulations, I'm back. And again, we get back into the States and I got another chewing out, and I don't know if they even brought it up to Randy, but again, I get.
So you're saying Randy used to get him in trouble? That's what you're saying, pretty much, man.
It was just another situation where tolerance is going to depend on your worth and what you bring.
Yeah,
to the
that's
company.
that's what I was saying earlier on. Like, the higher you get in life is just like that, bro. Like, you can get away with so much more stuff.
I get it completely, and I accept it 100%.
He's not blaming Randy. He
I
just
found
knows.
myself on the road with Randy. The one thing I can say, and the thing that to this day I still love about the guy is he was main eventing, and as the years passed on, his importance to the company continued to grow.
Remember,
and
these wrestlers,
we knew.
let me pause this because I gotta say that these wrestlers are like stocks. So like, if the company invests their time on you, that means they're investing money in you. And like, the more money you make them, it's like a stock. It goes up, and these wrestlers' values be going up. Like, yo, like Randy Orton's value, a signed autograph thing, could be up to like $200-300, and people pay for that because again,
he
they
was
love
a special
wrestling.
talent.
This
but
is a
he
lifestyle.
never in any way changed the way he treated me. He never big timed me in any way. And in fact, he always went out of his way to even try to help me. He would go to the writing team. He would always encourage them to use me in different ways.
That's some real shit right there. Like, wrestlers back in the day didn't do that. They had egos, massive egos. But that's dope about Randy. Right?
Different roles. I've always thought that me being inserted into the Survivor Series angle in 2004 probably directly correlated with him encouraging them to use me. Because if you look at the participants in that, one guy stands out that doesn't fit.
Yo, those are all main eventers. That's
and it's not Triple H. It's not Batista. It's me. I'm the one that does not fit. Once my release came through in 2005, we would stay in touch immediately after, and actually he took a trip and came and stayed at my house a few days. We hung out, we went to the gym, we worked out together, we just continued that bond. But following that, we would gradually over time.
And that's what happens in life in general. Like, once you start getting older, and that's something I've realized. Like, I'm only 20, but I've realized that you start drifting apart. It's not like you want to, but it's like life takes you different ways, and it's okay. It's okay that that happens. It's not bad, you know. It's normal. It happens. It's maturity, growing up.
Lose contact.
And I understand that.
And the reason is when two people are going in opposite directions, it just happens sometimes.
like I was saying.
Obviously, his career was still on an upward trajectory,
well, and it still is.
I was, scrambling, trying to find what my next adventure, what my next employment opportunity was going to be. I always followed his career, what he was doing, and when I found out that he had gotten married and had a family, and no one was happier for him than I was. And then I started hearing, that, man, and guys would say it just like this, man, Randy's changed a lot. He's not the same guy that you knew backstage. And obviously.
Hey, that's true. I had my daughter 2021, and my life changed. Like, I'm not the same person, like I used to be more immature. I used to get myself in trouble, and not like bad trouble, but like young kid trouble, like in school and whatever. But as soon as I held my daughter for this first time in my life, you grow, you change, man, and it's like the best thing in the world, bro. Like, I love my baby girl. Shout out to my baby girl.
With age comes wisdom, and with wisdom comes a semblance of maturity. And a family has a way sometimes of maturing people.
Sure, so it does.
I'm happy that he is happy, and I recognize that both of us have our separate lives to lead and our separate paths to take. And I've never held any animosity or ill feelings.
That I bet he finds Randy and they talk, it's like they never left.
Towards
you
Randy,
have that
for us
friendship.
losing
Those friendships
touch.
never leave.
Man, that's just the way it is. And that's just life.
Like
sometimes you just have to accept
that's
the
how
good.
know
If
I'm
you're
an
willing
old head.
to accept the good of life, you have to be willing to get through the negative and the bad. I do remember in 2009, I found myself in St. Louis. I was with a buddy of mine from the Home Shopping Network, Todd Newton. We were doing a motivational speaking tour, and lo and behold, just out of the blue,
Randy Orton.
at the same airport at the same time, Randy and I would cross paths again. And we were both going towards flight, but we were able to stop and take a few minutes just to reconnect.
That's the thing, bro. When you see those friends that you probably drift apart of, y'all reconnect, and it's like nothing happened. Like, it's nothing happened. It's just life.
Obviously, just good. Wasn't planned, but it was great seeing him at that time. And then again, off we went. He went his way, I went mine. I don't believe my wrestling career would have been as enjoyable if not for the time that I spent with
they were getting lit. You can see they were getting lit.
Randy. I'm happy that he's doing well. I'm extremely honored to have shared the road with him. I will always wish nothing but the best for him. And the great thing about life is you never know what's around the corner, and
that's the thing,
actually
man.
Never know what old faces might one day resurface. Now, my time spent with Randy.
Guys, hope you guys like, subscribe to this little reaction, man. I'll put Maven's channel below for those who are interested in wrestling and want to get into it. He's an amazing channel to watch. Guys, hope you like, subscribe, and peace. I love you guys.